Welcome everyone to another edition of Play It Through, and on this edition it's Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom, brought to us by Hudson Soft. Now, Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom is a text-based adventure game. A genre which was a huge hit on the PC really wasn't as popular on the NES. There was only a few text-based adventure games released for the NES, including Uninvited and Shadowgate. Now, in terms of text-based adventure games, Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom is a pretty linear game. There's no way to really back yourself into a corner that you can't get out of, and there's only one ending to get in the game. What makes Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom worth playing is the characters and the storyline. It's one of those games that's going to take you a very long time if you don't have a guide to find your way through everything, and that's what makes it so fun. So here we go with Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom. Now, in this run of the game, I'm going to be getting the bare minimum amount of items and going through the game with everything that you absolutely need in order to advance. There's tons of other things and ways you can interact with all the stuff in the background and the characters in the game, which is a lot of fun to play, and I recommend playing it for yourself as well. Here we have our opening story for the game. So basically our storyline is we play as Sir Cucumber. We're saving Princess Tomato from the evil Minister Pumpkin. Now before we get going, I'm going to show off every one of the buttons. You have move to move forward or backwards into the game, look around at all the objects, you can check certain objects, talk to any of the characters that are currently on screen, take a certain object that's on the screen, use the objects that are in your inventory, give an item to one of the other characters, buy some item from the shop. You can hit random objects, and sometimes stuff will happen. When you have some enemies that you have to fight, press the fight button to get into the combat. You can praise a character, saying good job and well done. You can dump random items that you don't need, look at your inventory, and then the final button, Percy, is kind of our sidekick in the game, and we'll actually be getting him in the second screen of the game. We'll get to meet him. So there is Percy, the baby persimmon. By first talking to him, you can see that he needs water, so we're going to have to go get some water. We're going to move forward, and that's where we kind of come into a fork in the road, where we can go in multiple directions. If you continue to the right, you actually come to a lake. Once you're at the lake, you can take the water from there. By taking the water, you're actually going to be able to give it 3 times. You get 3 little servings of water. Once you have that, we're now going to head back to Percy, give him the water, and then he's actually going to join us. Once you have given Percy the water, make sure that you talk to him. Then you actually get a big close-up of his face, and then he's actually going to join you after you talk to him again. Percy tells us that he has escaped from the evil Farmies, the main villains of the game, and that his friends are actually still back where he escaped from. Percy also likes to refer to us as boss. Now, after we get Percy, we're going back to the intersection, but we're going to go to the left this time, which takes us to a fence. You want to first look at it, you'll see that there's a sign on the fence. Usually at that point you'll also see the cherry birds go by, which is a pretty interesting overall animation. And then you want to check the bush. You'll see someone's in the bush, in which case then you can move to the bush, so that we actually can talk to the character. You see it's Prince Lettuce, so you want to give him some water, just like we gave to Percy, and it wakes him up and then you can talk to him. Prince Lettuce thanks us for giving him the water and then tells us about a secret passage which we can use to get over the fence. Once there, we see 4 more characters, and we're going to give them water, just like we have the previous 2. And that helps them out, in which case then we can talk to them. Talk to Cantaloupe, who will give us a gate pass so that we can get past the guard. If you want to talk to the other characters, you're free to do so, but it's not necessary to continue. Once we have that gate pass, we're actually going to go back to the intersection, and now we're going to move forward. Once we move forward, we see the guard who's protecting the main entrance to Saladoria. We're going to use the pass on him. He'll tell us that it's not our pass and actually take it from us. You then want to talk to Percy. Percy will actually tell us that the guard likes to fall asleep a lot. so, what you want to do is move back to the intersection, then go back forward, and in that little bit of time, the guard has actually fallen asleep, and now we can move past him into Saladoria and complete the first level of the game. Now there are 9 levels in the game, and after each level we get kind of a little photo screen showing us different photos of all the characters. We can see Percy and Sir Cucumber, as well as it gives you a password. You then press start and move on to the next level. Now level 1 was kind of like a basic tutorial getting used to the game. Level 2 we really have to start using our heads in order to get through. You want to start off by checking the fountain, then hitting it, in which case you get a coin. Make sure that you take it. We're now going to head to Main Street. Now this is the location of all kind of the shops in Salidoria. We're then going to move to the coffee shop. In the coffee shop we're going to buy ourselves a coffee. Right now our main goal is to not only find coffee, but a donut as well. We're going to be giving those 2 items to the guy who was actually in the park area, so he can give us some information. Now that we have one of the 2 items, we're going to go back to the park area and give him the coffee. Once you've given him the coffee, he's going to tell you to give him a donut. Talk to him a couple of times, in which case he'll then tell you that if you can't get a donut, go to the cabaret. They should have some. We're then going to leave him and move to Main Street. The cabaret is actually located on the Main Street, but we can't go there quite yet. We first have to check the strip area, and we'll see that many of the shops are closed, in which case then we spot the cabaret. However, we're not going to be able to get in there yet. We're going to first go to the antique shop. Once inside, you actually want to leave right away, and then go back in. By doing so, you're going to get different dialogue that's going to let us progress in the game. Once you're back inside the antique shop, talk to him. He'll say thanks for coming back. Then he'll ask you if you can do him a favor. Talk to him the second time, he'll tell you what the favor is. He wants you to take a letter to Miss Peachy. So now our job is to find Miss Peachy. Go back to the Main Street, and then go back to the park area. Then you want to move and go to the deli. This is where Miss Peachy is. You want to give her the letter. She thanks you for giving her the letter, and then gives you a sandwich in return. Once you have the sandwich, which we'll need later, you want to go back to the park, then back to Main Street, and now you want to go back to the antique shop. Once back in the antique shop, talk to the guy a couple of times. He'll thank you for delivering the letter, and then he's going to take all your gold coins, whatever ones you have, and change them into Salidorian coins. Once you have these Salidorian coins, you want to leave the antique shop. Now here I meet up with Octoberry. If you interact with him, you can get a coin. The whole spawning of him, sometimes you'll get him, sometimes you'll play the game a few times and never see him. It's just a way to get an extra coin if you need it. Now we're going to actually move to the cabaret, move inside the cabaret, which will cost us 1 Salidorian coin. Once inside the cabaret, you're going to talk to the waiter. Then talk to the waiter again, and he'll tell you, hey, you want to meet someone? Talk to him a third time, he'll tell you that he's actually in the bathroom waiting for you. Kind of a little weird. Then you can move to the bathroom. You actually end up giving the waiter a coin for giving you that little tip. Once inside the bathroom, you want to check the trash. Check it a couple of times, in which case you'll find a donut. Then you can take the donut, and now we have one. A little weird and disgusting that we're taking a donut from the trash, but we need it. Once you have that donut, go back to the main area of the cabaret, in which case we can now leave. Go out the exit, back to the main part, and then go back to the main street, and then to the park. Once we get back to the park area, we see actually a different character now on the park bench, as well as a kid crying. You want to first give the crying kid the sandwich. He'll thank you, and now he's happy, in which case you can now talk to the Wanderer, since the kid being happy wakes up his father so that you can talk to him. He's going to tell us that he used to be the minister here, but unfortunately he was kicked out once the farmies took over, and he's also going to tell you about the secret base currently being built in Parsley Forest. We're then going to move away from him, back to the park area, and now move to the mountainside. Once at the mountainside, we meet up with Old Man Corn, who we're going to talk to a couple of times. He's going to tell you that he hates the city, as well as that the Resistance General is currently suffering from a severe headache, and at the pharmacy that we're going to need to buy some